Okay, so what do you understand by lean? Can you just tell me the English meaning of lean?
Sleek, thin.
Okay. Sleek, thin.
Tiny, narrow.
Narrow. So yes,
Yeah.
exactly, lean meaning thin, slim trim. Okay, yeah, this is exactly what mean. I mean, no fat, no extra stuff, just to the point. So if we are if we don't if you don't there is no extra flesh in the body, we call you person is lean, right? So this is what exactly it means. Removing the waste from the project is lean. Okay, so when I say removing the waste from the project, it means that I am not implementing the functionality which is not needed. I am sorry, I am not focusing on um, unnecessary stuff. I am just working to the point. I am just focusing on the business performance. I am just business requirement, and once and my solutions are all based on achieving what I actually need. Okay, so to do this, so this is one of the big one of the items under the umbrella of agile is lean. Okay, so here we are continuously working on implementing only those functionalities, or probably working on that aspect of project which is just needed. So this might also mean that I am not implementing the coding standards as of now, right? I would write a code, probably I have not implemented it using oops concept. I just wrote everything. I wanted to do 3+2. I just hard coded everything and just delivered the result 5, right? My main intention is I delivered that 3+2 is 5. I did not focus how I got it, but I just achieved it. I did not waste my time implementing or improvising the quality standard, the coding standard. I did not waste my time on any of this stuff. I just focused on what actually was needed. So actually I needed was 3+2. Once I got it, I said I have delivered the functionality. But here it is, the catch is, it does not mean that you would not focus on this refactoring of the code. This refactoring of the code would be in discussion, in transparency with the client, would be done at the later stage. Okay. So my main agenda here is that I am delivering the acceptance criteria, I am meeting the acceptance criteria, and I am delivering what is needed. So it is beneficial where, you know, when you have very less time and you just want to have a quality product, where you just want to have all the features properly implementing, they are working properly. This is where the lean would best fit in. And probably the code can be improvised at the later stages. So lean is about thinking differently. Lean says eliminate waste. Right. So when I'm working in lean, as I mentioned, I'm just working to the point. I am not focusing on extra additional stuff. I am working on what exactly is needed. I am amplifying my learning. Since I am doing a constant review, I have increased feedback cycles are there, because I'm just focused on delivering the product. I'm just working too fast to get it done. There would be a decreased feedback cycle. I mean, the time of the feedback cycle would be reduced. And since I'm doing that and I'm implementing the feedback as fast as possible, so I'm learning through it, that how I can deliver a quality product. I get feedbacks early at a very early stage, so I know what things I need to take care in the future. Now, next is decide as late as possible. Can somebody tell me what would that mean?
I mean, one thing would be to get as many
Yeah, as many feedbacks as possible, like from all the stakeholders, and then instead of hurrying into the decision, like just take everybody's perspective and then take one a call out of it.
No, but then that would reduce the impact of having the feedbacks. Then I would not be amplifying my learning there. I got the feedback, but if I did not make use of it, no point having a feedback. To a certain extent, yes, it is right. I would pick up the feedbacks which are really important. I would not negate that statement completely, but I would just pick up the few important stuff. So I will bar my decisions on anything, maybe hiring a resource, or maybe getting a new server, or maybe any decision. I would try to bar it as much as I can, because the later I decide, more clarity I would have. Right. So in one way, maybe about taxation system. Right. I started working on a taxation system in maybe June. Right. And my summer budget is happening, and I'm not sure what if there would be some changes in the service tax, if there would be some changes in the VAT. If I go while the budget is happening in June only, if I go and implement it, and if things get changed in the budget, I would have to go back to it and implement it later again. That is a double effort for me. But if I bar the decision, okay, since I would not be needing a taxation system before February, or maybe before January, if it's a huge org, you would start maybe preparing it in Jan. So let me bar the decision till November. I'll wait till November, so that if at all any changes have to be made, it would be done in a winter session, and I would implement it then. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then is deliver as fast as possible, which is again a simple agile principle. We have been talking about deliver as fast as possible, quick delivery cycles are there. Empower the team. Your team owns everything. It's not that they are not guided or commanded to do something. They own it. Right? Build quality in. So since the stakeholder involvement in Agile is pretty high, right? The quality of any product that would be delivered would always be pretty high, because since stakeholders can see the product on almost a daily basis or on a weekly basis, they would be reviewing it, they would be giving it the feedback. So you are building the quality. You are ensuring the end product, the confidence level of their end product would be very high. Then it says see the whole. It says think big, right? Don't just focus on one thing. Think on a bigger picture. See the bigger picture, how it would help. Now, for example, if I'm the same example of a taxation system, for an ERP system, a taxation is a very high requirement. But had I not seen the budgets and the time where I'm going to implement it, I would have done it. I did not see the bigger picture. There are budget coming in, so there would be some changes in the taxes slabs or maybe something. I saw the bigger picture and I held on my decision. I did not implement it. Right? So see the bigger picture, think big. Okay? Then, so let's see what are the benefits of lean. After listening to him, let's discuss the benefits. So what do you think would be what is the biggest benefit you see of implementing this approach?
Yeah, one is optimal utilization, like whatever resources we've got, and using it to the best means, like as we said, like getting rid of the waste and taking the cream out of your resources. I mean, not only human resources. I mean, all sorts of resources, and using the cream out of it.
Yes, exactly. And anybody else?
Yeah, same. I mean, what is needed? What is the actual need? Identify it, deliver it. There is no extra things, no waste things.
Right. So I'll just read the slides. I think all of you have answered that. So it identifies the value, what is the value, what would give you the maximum value to the customer, and we try to eliminate the waste. We do not focus on priority 3 and priority 4. Our focus is first on the priority 1 items. Right? If I talk from a defect backlog perspective, if I have to be lean, my focus would be fixing the priority 1. Priority 3s and priority 4s can be taken care of later. Right? Then I'm continuously improving the pursuit of perfection since I'm getting a continuous feedback, right? So if I am working on priority 1 defects, if one or two of the defects are probably reopen or they need to be refixed, I might be fixing some number of priority 3 and priority 4 defects while I'm fixing priority 1. It could be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm improving continuously. And customer sees the value addition. I am adding a value. I am building a trust in the eyes of the customer. So now, when we are talking about lean, there are 3 types of waste. One is called muda, muri, and mura. So what is muda? Which it says work which absorbs resource but adds no value. So we should not work on that item or a task which is adding no value, but is consuming my resource. So for example, if I am trying to improvise my code when there is an important delivery to go ahead, I am focusing on the customer, on the coding standards and adding comments. It is consuming my time, but it's not adding the value for that particular moment, right? Then muri, unreasonable work that is imposed on workers and machines, same like implementing of the coding standards at that particular time. If I'm implementing, if I don't want to do it, but my manager keeps telling me, oh, do it, that is muri. So that is imposing of the work. Then mura, so lean says that works come in ticks and bits. You would be working it in an incremental way. There would be never a situation when you get a big bang amount of a work. Since you are working on the priorities, even if you, while implementing something, you saw something that this should be done this way. So for example, if in a login screen, my requirement says username cannot be, should be 3 or more characters, right? But while I was developing it, I realized there are many people with name Joe, J-O, Joe, right? I will just go back to the client and ask him that it needs to be, this is an improvement request, this needs to be modified, this needs to be implemented. My client would reprioritize that for me. So if he'll feel that, okay, this needs to be implemented now and then only, he'll give me a priority. And he will pull out the same amount of work for that particular task, right? So if one thing is added, other thing of equal priority or equal effort would be taken out. In Scrum, the requirements are written in the product backlog. Okay, so the product backlog would have all the list of features that are needed to be implemented for that particular project. The duty of the product owner is to prioritize the product backlog. Okay, so if there are 20 requirements in the product backlog, he will get them reprioritized after discussion with the stakeholders and users, with the team, and give a prioritized list to the team. Now, product owner in association with team would have a sprint planning meeting where they will pick first 2, probably depending upon the bandwidth that team has. They will pick up the most important, the first 2, like 1 number, 2 number is the most important priority after they have been prioritized, right? They will first 2 and they will put that in a sprint backlog. Now, these 2 features would undergo discussion with product owner involving stakeholders, and they will detail that out. This detailing is called user story writing, and I write acceptance criteria. Fine. So once the acceptance criteria have been decided, sprint starts, you start implementing it. It could be a 3-day, 4-day cycle. It would be a 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 weeks of, 2 to 3 weeks of cycle. They would be implemented, and once the with 2 to 3 weeks after this 2 requirements have been implemented, there is a demo, there is a review of the sprint. Then we collect a feedback from a client. Once we have a client feedback, we have a sprint retrospective. This means the complete team and product owner comes and decides what went good in the sprint, what we should stop doing, what we should start doing more frequently, and how things can be changed, the process can be changed. While in the 2 to 3 weeks of cycle, they have a daily planning meeting, which is called the daily stand-up meeting. So this is not the example which Debajit was giving for a Microsoft where product owner came in pretty late. It was a daily stand-up meeting where team was just discussing what they had decided to do yesterday. If they have not been able to do, what are the reasons, what were the impediments because of which they were not able to do. It is a whiteboard meeting, so we will talk about it in length in the coming week. So it's a whiteboard meeting where everybody's name is jotted down. They have what they did yesterday, what are they planning to do, and if something is pending from in their plate from yesterday, why was it pending? This is all they discuss. And if they have a dependency on something, like maybe I was working on a code but the server went down, so X person is working on the server, bringing it up, so I have a dependency till that person is up. So they discuss all and try to resolve it, how they can help each other, okay, and how they can remove all the obstacles. Okay, so this is a typical Scrum structure. So the Scrum is based on, again, 5 values: respect each other's work. Okay, so if you are not respecting each other's work, when we are, for example, if we are doing a continuous check-in, we are doing a continuous check-in of a code, one did, another did not do, which impacted the other's work, right? You are disrespecting that person. So you should respect whatever each other is doing. Have continuous feedbacks. Okay. Third is courage. Have the courage to check in your code. If you're not confident enough, I mean, if you're checking it in, you would be probably able to understand where you are going, because when you were checking in the code, your code would go and merge with other people's code as well, and probably that is where you, with the team effort, you would be able to solve it. Or if you have any doubts, or if you need any explanation while implementing something, have the courage to talk to your product owner. Don't think what he will think or what she will think, what would be the team's reaction that has started working and I don't have clarity. Have the courage to speak and interact. Communicate as much as possible, and then keep things simple. Work on the priority, work on what is needed. Don't waste your extra effort on things which are not needed. So Kanban is nothing but a visual board. Basically, it's a visual task board. So where you have 3 columns, not started, on, in progress, and done. Based on the requirements, probably you can have it, the ones which is being displayed here, like under analysis, you can put ongoing, done. Maybe you are in the part of a sprint where you are in the middle of the sprint and you are also analyzing the sprint N+1, right? So you can break down in a way you want, but the basic 3 fields which we have: not started, in progress, done. So the features are the tasks we are working. So we have initially, to start with, we have all the tasks in the not started side. I pick feature 1 and 2. Our team starts working on it. Okay, and now feature 1 and 2, the sticky note, they would be removed from not started field and they will move to in progress. They will only go, feature 1 and 2 will only move to done once the testing is complete, once the defects have been closed and there is no pending issue open against it. Till that time, it will be only in progress. Okay, it would be, so to define, to make sure that something is done, we have something called definition of done, which is created. So we follow the definition of done. So like if from a testing perspective, if I have to quote an example from a testing perspective, my definition of a done would be a website would be completely tested when I have cross-browser tested it across the browsers, when I have tested it across the platforms, when I have tested the backend, when I have tested the UI, or when I have tested the security. If one of the if I have not done the cross-browser testing, my feature would not be complete. It would remain in a pending state. Okay? Yeah. So this is called work in progress limit. But there is a limit internally. When you start a project, you will have to put a work in progress limit. So for example, under in progress, there are 5 items, and in done, there are 2. So I will not pull anything from not started to in progress till I at least clear the log in progress section. I will make a hard stop at 5. We will decide on a limit at the beginning of the project that 5 is my limit. So at point where I have 5 items or tasks in my in progress section, I will make a halt, complete the in progress, move it to done, and then start the new one. This is called work in progress. And the pull thing in Kanban is pulling from not started to in progress, and then from in progress to I'm pulling it, right? I'm not going, nothing is pushing, no, nothing is going back from done to in progress. I'm just pulling it, I'm moving it forward, I'm not pushing it, right? So it's a pull technique. Okay?